Hey, neighborinos and Brick fans, how you all doing? I have the child here today. I'm going to live build it and make a few adjustments over the course of the build. Because, I've got, I like probably a lot of AFOLs. I bought the Yoda. Hang on. Last year gave us Yoda. Here he is. And I forgot, I'm wearing a cool headset thingy. I can now walk around the office. That shouldn't be a problem anymore. I hope so. It's been a good week. I've figured out a few things. Well, mostly it's been a good week. I don't know. The gyms are open again. That's good. Lockdown is easing. I swear, just COVID lockdown, I just chunked up. It was horrible. Well, I say horrible, but, it's all on me. It's all my fault. I love the chippies, man, and, lockdown happened, and I'm just give me all the chippies. Yum, 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 yum. Yeah, it was in my mouth, in my face. And chocolate. Chocolate is my kryptonite, man. I love my chocolate. Just fill up an IV bag and just get it straight in the vein. Love my chocolate. Yeah, and so I chunked up a bit during lockdown, I'm back up a belt notch or two. I've lost my six-pack. I had a six-pack before we went into lockdown. It was kind of cool this time last year anyway. And, it's, I don't know, that's been my week. Anyway, if you're dropping in, say hi in the chat. And yeah, let's keep this on topic, I guess. Let's talk about the child. No Mandalorian spoilers. I should say that up front. We should not be saying anything that would constitute a spoiler. Well, the second season, at least, okay? Not everybody's probably caught up on second season, but there's really no point in talking about the child without talking about season 1, right? So, season 1, fair game. You've all been warned. Them's the ground rules. And I'm not even sure how many people are here and joining in with us yet, but, as you do join in and drop in, just kind of say hi in the chat, because otherwise I'm just kind of sitting here airing my own personal social anxieties to the world. Yeah, that can be, well, awkward for me. I don't know how you feel about it. Your mileage might vary. Yeah. Because, amongst other things that have happened in my week, hay fever. I get hideous hay fever. And, walking around, sneezing, during a pandemic, oh my gosh, the social anxiety that causes, I didn't have enough social anxiety before. It's, it's a thing. And I do want to double check that my sound is coming through. This is one of the things I've tried to figure out this week. Hopefully it's working better. I don't know. I have zero feedback happening here. Let me know. I can see a few people are here and watching. As we open up bag number 1 of the child. I'm going to be totally upfront. This is absolutely right here in my little hand is one of the reasons I wanted this particular set in the first place. There's 1,073 parts in this set. It's a big, mid-sized set. But these 2 parts. Forget about the other 1,071. This little guy here, Baby Yoda. And okay, I know that's not his proper name, but we haven't been told his name yet. So Baby Yoda is what he will be called for the time being. Yeah, looking so good. See, he gets the dimensions right. Little Baby Yoda that we have here as the set, those ears are meant to be slightly longer than his head. That is wide, or slightly wider than his head is wide, but they're not on the model, and that's one of those little things I want to change on this one. No biggie. It's very easy to do. Let's do it. Let's get in there. Oh, sorry. Hadn't realised there are stickers in the set too. Why, I do not know. Who needs stickers? The child. Homeworld, unknown, species unknown, age 50. I don't feel any more informed by that. Why even bother putting it in there? It told me nothing. Yeah, Baby Yoda. Is that what we're going to call him, though? I guess next episode... Oh, well, hang on. No, Season 2 spoilers. The choice to just call him Baby Yoda or the child or never actually name him. Does Mando really care like we think he does? I don't know. He's just doing it because he has to. Anyway, opening up the instruction manual here. Let's get reading. And anyway, how you doing, Roxo? I presume the sound is coming through. Please do let me know if it is not. Alright. So some internal core base stuff. Boring stuff to get the build started. Oh my gosh, the hay fever. I'm just going to blow my nose quickly. Give me a moment. Like, the wind's totally howling outside right now, you know. Witcher style. The wind is howling. Yeah, I got to work on my Garol voice, I know. But, like, it kicks up all the dust and the pollen, and it's in the air, and it's spring. It's not a fun time of year. Oh, well. Live and learn. A bit old school sounding. I can work with that. I guess I'm going to have to, aren't I? Necessity is the mother of invention. I guess I'll get to have a little listen to it afterwards. But after all the concerns about, like, simple headsets, low profile on the head, a basic little microphone, that doesn't have to be too chunky, and somehow connect to a laptop. Something that kind of fits those criteria, rare. Like hen's teeth. You know, not easy to find. Alrighty. So, keeping the build going here. So many Technic pins. Turns out, of the 1,073 parts, half of them are Technic pins. That's a thing that happens, I guess. I mean, I'm not usually a big Technic fan. I don't use Technic a lot in many of my builds at all. But, I do quite often use it to build the core of things, whatever those things might happen to be. Because it's very easy to lock things into place and stop them separating. Because at some point in time, the child here, I'm going to want to pick him up and cuddle him and cradle him and get him to move and feed him frogs. The joy of being live. Like, let's just go back and edit out the awful, horrendous hay fever-induced pain that I'm experiencing. I hate hay fever. You know, cannot say how much I hate it. Like, it's a lot. A lot. Anyway, yeah. How has everybody been? The five or so people that are here right now. Yeah, it's, I mean, I told you about I'm back in the gym. That's great. Kinda. Like, being back in the gym, it's, glutes. I'd forgotten I had them. Oh my gosh, are they in pain right now? I did leg day, because you can never skip leg day. Leg day is very important. But did my leg day, did my deadies, my deadlifts. Oh my gosh, I have been hobbling around the house, holding on the walls for stability for like 5 days now. Well, not that long. It was like Thursday. And yeah, there's still residual pain. Oh, and this is handy. Here, these are the big, long Technic beams. Just to make sure I've got the dimensions right, I don't have to necessarily count it off on the instructions there. I can line it up here as well. So that's kind of handy. I'm pretty sure I've done that right, though. 5 down, all the way through on them. Looking good. So 8 bags. This box gives us 8 bags. Utopia. I'm not sure I've heard of that one. Luke? Tell me more about Utopia. I don't know, sell me on it. Is it appropriate? Is it appropriate for kids? Says the dad who let his kid, he's an 8-year-old this week, watch Auntie Donna. It's, yeah, there were questions asked by the 8-year-old. He's now decided it is his new favourite show. Woke up early in the morning to turn on the TV when we told him he probably shouldn't watch it again. And, yeah, I'm guessing there's going to be more education needed. Anyway, yeah, tell me more about Utopia. Old school sound? What does old school sound like? I'm curious to hear myself talking back. I don't know, actually. I'm not sure if I am. Oh, man. My nose is killing me. Killing me softly with its song. It's Song of Sniffle. I hope the headset isn't... I need one with a mute, don't I? That's what I need. Oh. So yeah, I've spent more than a bit of the week just sick, lying on the couch trying to recover. But it's good to be back in the gym. And yes, let's be clear here. Hay fever is not contagious. I'm not giving anybody my sniffles. But it doesn't ease the social anxiety that goes around it. You know, it's like you feel like everybody's looking at you. Well, they probably not. I mean, they're too busy looking at themselves. Self-absorbed people they are, I'm sure. I don't know. Too far. Once. Maybe. Anyway. Man, this is a bit of a boring bag. I guess you got to have a solid core to make these things work, but this isn't very exciting so far. Give me something exciting. Oh, I guess we did have Baby Yoda. Let's be fair. Baby Yoda be cool. Okay, yeah. I'll have to give it a try. What network is it on? I guess part of the mystery is it revealing the end of the world or not, right? I mean, it could be. End of days and all that. More Technic pins. That's our last one of those. We have a left and a right signaled by yellow and black. Back and front, I don't know what it'll be. Hold it up, turn the camera in just a moment, and I'll show you what I mean. But first, apparently, I'm going to blow my nose again. Oh, on Prime? Cool, I've got that. And John Cusack. Oh, I could get into that. Yeah, okay. He's pretty awesome. He does tend to pick projects that have that kind of offbeat, slightly dark humour to them, and I like that. That's the kind of thing I like in my entertainment. You know, not necessarily bleak. I'm not a big fan of bleak, but just double checking this. Oops, before I put that on. I guess this will be the joint for his head, because there is a limited amount of possibility to this set, in theory. But then, you know, in theory, communism works. So we will find out if it does indeed work. Because I think on my list of little minor changes I want to make for this set does indeed include, a little too much wriggle on that. I guess there probably needs to be in the end. There you go. Let's adjust that screen, I think. So I can... How do I do this? Yeah, let's do it there. Anyway, yep. There we go. So we have yellow, clearly letting us know which side is which, and black. Here at the top, we've got that little joint. Flippy, 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 flip. Not too bad. And so, coming together there. And let's layer some stuff up onto top. Eek. There we go. Build, build, build. Looking good. Bit dull, actually, this section. We do get a little bit of the tan, so obviously some of this will show through to kind of be the external layer. I better make sure my yellow is on the front. That's one of the other things I want to change in the set. I understand that why they've shaped the robes for Baby Yoda as they have, but it does feel a little clunky, and there doesn't feel like there's enough fabric-y flow to it, which is very hard to reproduce with Lego, mind you, especially if you want it to stand up to rigorous play, and given that we started with a solid internal frame, obviously they do want it to stand up to rigorous internal play. Infernal? Internal? I don't know. Why would you even be playing with it internally? 9 out of 10 doctors do not recommend. And where do they always find that one doctor that does? Like, do they answer a wanted ad? Is it Craigslist? I don't know. Oh, my nose. Oh, my gosh. Soldiering on here. 1,000 and a little bit parts. Oh, and next week, I got Sesame Street. I'm pretty excited about Sesame Street. You know, speaking of puppets or Muppets, there's a bit of crossover there, I guess. Yeah, Sesame Street, you know. Can I hear the song playing in my head already? Maybe that's because I've got kids. And so... Alrighty. Almost done with our initial core, but I've got way more of these little... Oh, that's why. So many of these little blue pins. That's because I didn't do this. And I don't know how many of our 1,000 odd parts we just used here. I'm going to say a lot. In Technic pins. Probably more Technic pins than the votes that made the difference in Georgia. Too soon? I don't know. After having done that, I think I might be one pin short, or I put one in the wrong spot somewhere. Ah, that's why. Yes, I have. Oh my gosh, that's going to be hard to get out. I'm going to need a bar part to do that. Yes, looks like I shouldn't have put the pins in the very top layer there. So pull that one out. Yeah, it's unfortunately I don't have any of the networks that Stargirl is streaming on. Because I'd like that one. You know, the comic book nerd in me is intrigued. I always like anything that's based on a comic book property. It's just the kind of geek I am, I guess. Nothing wrong with being a bit geeky, right? I don't know. Depends who you ask, really. And yeah, Baby Yoda. Oh, I have been longing for this little guy. Like, there's another one that comes in the Mandalorian Razor Crest set, but that one was well and truly captured by my child. Alright, and now bag 2 will have us building so much dark tan. So much dark tan here Just the side of a robe. I feel like I should have done some pre-building to keep this entertaining. Here we go. I don't know, it's the kind of thing that probably would go a lot quicker. I could absolutely just hammer it out and speed build it out. If I wasn't reaching for a handkerchief every 5 seconds. My nose is trying to kill me. Guess you've just got to do the best and... Yes, I'm sorry. It's not a joyous thing to have hay fever. Quite horrible. Now layering up the sides here for our little Yodi? We need to have kind of like a poll for the name. Hopefully we're real for that in Season 2. But as yet, poor little Baby Yoda, not named. Somebody pulled me up on Instagram for referring to him as Baby Yoda. But apparently, you know, that's a little disrespectful. Yet we still don't know his name. We, know nothing about him. Except it's about his love of frogs, which, who can blame him? Frogs are delicious. Actually, I've never eaten frog. I've eaten a lot of weird foods over the years. Worked in, catering, and weird foods come up a lot in catering. It's just a thing that happens in that industry. But yeah, crocodile, kangaroo. Kangaroo's no longer considered weird, though, mind you. There's been a concerted effort to make that a little bit more mainstream. And it's not a bad meat, but it is quite, it's not a fatty meat, so it's difficult to cook. Very stringy, gamey, I guess would be the right word for it. I did like crocodile. That was a little salty. And my poor nose. Oh, I'm sorry. Alright, so that's basically how we're creating the basic layering for the sides. It does make for a very solid, parts-intensive way of doing the curvature of anything, but at some point you need that structure underneath to support as you move up with the bricks as well. So I'm not really sure how many different ways that you could create the side. And that's probably one of the reasons for the odd shaping too. That, it's if you started with the 4-sided core, you only have 4 sides to kind of shape the bricks around. And how you do that without having 4 obvious seams down the sides, it presents its own set of challenges. Yeah, see, reaching for like handkerchief every 5 seconds. Mind you, a lot better than it was last week. I mean, I was laid up in bed for a day or two. A day and a bit. Just because it was that bad. Killing me. Always figured it would be the hay fever that kills me, though. Or something that I probably can't say, where there's the possibility that kids will watch. There's always those interesting moments in a build like this. Instead of using a 1x2 dark tan, which is a part that absolutely exists, they've used 2 1x1s. two 1x1 side by side to create the same effect. I guess they knew that somebody like me was going to come along and say, hey, we can make a more realistic child. How do we mod this? Let's get a modding. And they're like, we're open to the idea. Here you go. Here's more parts and variety to allow you to make those things happen. I should be doing that where the camera gets a bit of look, right? And here we have the little bits ready to wrap around the side as well. And that's part of the way that you break up the idea that it's four sides with obvious seams. Have some of them wrap around the others just enough so that they can overlap just enough. See, and here we're doing it again. Instead of a 2x2 dark tan, it's two 1x2 dark tans to create the same shape. There has certainly been an attempt at smoothing these shapes, mind you. I always love the use of cheese slopes to create those angles. And I mean, I guess part of it is I like the idea of using studs for texture. They work very well to create texture. So you need to make deliberate choices as you're building. And certainly it's not exactly the same considerations for a set that's being sold as it is for the one that I'm building for myself, or for, you know, the kind of thing that would be at an exhibit. But studs can work as texture, and so you get to pick and choose when you apply that, and where. Give me 2 seconds. There. Hopefully that takes care of it for a little while. I don't know. Or I might just die. Live on air. Like, would catapult me to the front page of the internet, wouldn't it? Yeah. Dark? Too dark? I don't know. Not quite sure where the line is. Let me know. I can go darker. A little. Maybe not too much. We can go back to talking about IV-related chocolate drips. I mean, loving my chocolate during lockdown. I had way too many, way too much chocolate during lockdown. Like, they write family block on it, but they don't mean family block on it. No, it's my block. All mine. It's delicious. Like, give it to me. Yum, 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 yum. Yeah, love it. And apparently, Cadbury choosing to put family block, because they're the one who pioneered it, as a marketing strategy to really make people like me, who are happy to scoff it down all by themselves, feel bitter about the fact that when we get back to the car park after doing our shop and doing that in the car, it's all good. It's all good. We're allowed to do that because I don't know why. Because it makes us less embarrassed at the checkout. I don't know. See, of all the social anxieties I suffer from, being embarrassed at the checkout is probably not one of them. That's one of the few times it's not a thing. So, can't relate. Not on that. Anyway. There we go. We've got kind of a rough side developing here. And still going on. Where's the bag? 2 here. We haven't even got that deep into it yet. Oh, well. We will. We will. Not too bad. I think a little bit more needs to be done to kind of scallop over that gap. I suspect maybe we'll turn it around and do that in a moment, though. Almost done with this bag, which is good, I guess. A range of little dark tan tiles. That's one of the things I've been looking forward to with this set, actually. Like, it's one of the things that makes me think I should go out and get myself a spear. Arr, like a pirate boat. I don't know. I don't see the connection there. But anyway, go out and get myself a spear, I say this in a pirate accent, because 1,073 great parts that I would use, except for the ticking parts. And, of course, Baby Yoda. Yeah. I would totally do it again, just for Baby Yoda. I think I need more of him in my life. And I wouldn't be like Mando. I'd give him a proper name. I think he deserves a proper name. And I think maybe together we can come up with a better name for him. How about George? I will love him and I will squeeze him and I will call him George. What do you reckon? Work for a name? No? Yes? Here we go. Oh, man, my nose. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, what else has been happening in the world this week, I guess? I mean, it's been pretty quiet here on my end. Just doing what I can to get back in shape, stay healthy. I have I should not have this many spare parts on the table. I've missed some bits here. I'm not going to fuss, though. Here's what we kind of have at the end of this page, or build. I think I've angled some of them wrong. I don't know. Probably be a bit intuitive where I've missed stuff. Like I reckon that was meant to have that. Oh yeah, that looks right. And that gap feels way too big. Like there's got to be something in there, right? Yeah, I'm just going to improvise. I think you should be somewhere. There, that'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Maybe that. Yeah, that'll work. And that goes on somewhere. Yellow side? It goes on yellow side at about... make the top flush apparently is the dealio. Let's line it up-ish. Oh no, it's a drop down. Come on, line up for me. Why you not line up? Here we go. That's better. That's better. Lined up. Clicked on. See? Hey, it messes with your head, man. Like, I feel like I've been thinking through cotton wool all week long. Just like that. Like, that should have been easy. Instead, you know, I'm fumbling around like something. A klutz. I'm not usually a klutz. I mean, I'm frequently dumb and idiotic, but it's not quite the same thing. I'm usually quite dexterous. It's embarrassing, I don't know. See, there are my social anxieties coming to the fore again. Those are the kind of things I concern myself with. Probably shouldn't, but what are you going to do, hey? Alright, now I'm presuming this is another side of Baby Yoda. He's got, like, 4 sides, apparently. Yeah, here we go. Building. Humming little ditties. Sea chanties, that's what we should hum while we do it. I don't know why I've got pirates on the mind today. I don't know. Maybe it's because we need more pirates in life. Can never have quite enough, right? Rum-addled, leg-headed people with patches over one eye. That's what we need more of in life. I can't back up why. There's no good reason why we would need more pirates. And of course, in this day and age, we wouldn't get the cool Captain Jack kind. No. We get those kind of crazy off the coast of Somalia kind. Like, we'd probably get away with it more if there was just a bit of style and panache to it. And I guess that's what we miss, you know. That's why we harken back for those old days of yore where there was cool pirates. Was there ever cool pirates? Full to the gills again of medication, but, you know, that wind outside is crazy. And only so much can be done, unfortunately. I may die. Before I swallow a fly, I've never had the opportunity to swallow a fly. I'm not saying that's something I've gone out of my way looking for, but, you know, like it's moments like this when I'm dying of hay fever, I'm like, what's left on my bucket list? What have I got to do this week? Like, there are so many cool things I haven't done with my life yet. Like, jumped over a tank of sharks with my motorcycle. Is that a thing that people do? Because they should. But actually, nah. I don't think I ever jumped my motorcycle over anything. Muppets Treasure Island, yeah. Yeah, I don't even really remember that. Years since I watched it. Years. Here's also what I mean. Like, this will click on, I don't know which side yet. I presume we're going for the immediate opposite side first, but you get that sense already of some of it steps forward, some of it steps back, and therefore you'll be able to click bits around so it doesn't look like it fully, like it allows for the surfaces to cross over. Oh yeah, Tim Curry is just, he's one of those amazing actors. It's just entrancing, right? Can't do a thing wrong. I think we'll talk more about Muppets next week, though. Like Sesame Street next week. I'm going to convert it into modular row style. Because, again, it's a set that I got just for the minifigs. But I like the idea, like as I said, I want to do it justice, but at the same time, we can tweak it. We can do other things with it. It doesn't have to be a playset. It can be something I can use for purposes of display. If I am going to use it for purposes of display, I think having it fit into the modular row and being converted to do so is the best way for an A-fold to do that. So that's what we'll be working on next week. And I'll probably be full of antihistamine medications and all the rest and trying not to die. Ow. But upbeat. What are some cool upbeat things we could say? I don't know. I got to go to a cafe for breakfast. Like, I know it's a very Melbourne thing to do, but that's the thing I did yesterday. It felt weird being out in public with a mask off. Being able to eat and drink. I mean, at the moment, I believe Melbourne is the only place in the world that has successfully gone from 700 cases of COVID a day to none. 2 weeks, we haven't had a single case. We beat it. Give yourself a pat on the back, guys. If you're a Melbourneite, you've been wearing your mask and keeping people safe, you're awesome. That's how we beat it. Alrighty. So I don't feel like these are the most interesting parts of the build. Like I've got baby. Old Yoda's head. Old Yoda's mouth didn't open. I believe on this set the mouth will open. He does have the posable eyes. Very different eyes to the two creatures. Baby Yoda's being those big, doleful, black balls of immutable blackness. I don't know what you'd refer to his eyes as. But they're very definitely not Yoda's eyes. And I do like that they've kept that element of pet to Baby Yoda, really. Or Muppet. So, I was watching the Mando episode last night, and yeah, they do go, or Mando does go to quite an extent to say, I'm done with this thing, get it off my hands. Hasn't given a name. Constantly referring to it as it was his pet, and just his duty. I mean, what kind of parent does that? Well, I mean, it's not actually like he lives the kind of life that is appropriate to be a parent and raising a little space alien dude who's powerful with the Force. Certainly not the one I'd entrust with such duty. But it wasn't up to me. I do think we do need to start the child baby adoption agency. Everybody can get their own little child. We can bring the Jedi back to the galaxy. One good parenting decision after another. And that begins with a name. And of course, being a weird space opera, it probably needs to be a space opera name. I'm not quite sure what that would kind of sound like. Maybe Gordon. Gordon's alive? Yeah. Something like that. I feel like there's stuff that should have gone there that I just haven't put there. We're going to have spare parts left at the end of this bag again. That's okay. I was always going to change up the model, so I'm not too concerned. first hint of the connection points to make the top of his body work here. Oh, they're not looking too bad. Making this all up as I go along, I guess. All any work can ever really do. You should have gone somewhere, and these bits should have gone somewhere. Where were you meant to go? I bet in there, actually. That's where I'd have put you. No? Then I get that weird spot. Why do I have two of these left? I should not have two of these left. Oh, I'm not going back looking for it now. Here we go. Another boring ass side. Like, oh my gosh, could I have picked a more boring set to build? I'm not entranced. I mean, I was always going to get it. Star Wars geek. Of course I was always going to get it. But, give us a little bit more excitement during the course of the build. Give us something more going on. What is this? It's not much, I'll tell you that. Not much at all. Yeah. 3 bags on the build, and this is what we've got. And a Baby Yoda. Yaddle. That's what they named the nameless one in Phantom Menace, though, isn't it? The lady of the species that we have seen on screen, which I presume, like most other Star Wars characters, did have a whole bunch of other off-screen stuff written about her, the extended universe or whatever spin-off they could cash in on. But then at the same time, George Lucas has always reportedly been quite protective of Yoda, unprepared to show, even name the homeworld for our little critters. In a universe where they're usually not very shy of giving anybody any details about anything. I mean, Wilbur Hood. If you know who Wilbur Hood is, he is the guy who was seen very briefly in Empire Strikes Back, running through the background with an ice cream maker in his hands. Now, that ice cream maker has become kind of iconic and used quite a lot since. Well, not really. I say a lot since, but what I really mean is that the Mandalorian has taken that exact ice cream container shape and spun it out and treated it as if though it was an important item holder. But certainly back then, you know, this was just a guy in an orange jumpsuit who had stolen the ice cream maker from the canteen and making a getaway with it. As if though the ice cream was the most important thing he would need in his post-Empire life. Which I can kind of understand. Ice cream, well, I did mention my battle with my belly, but oh, yeah, ice cream, yeah. Who doesn't like good ice cream? If I was going to have to hide out in the barrens of Tatooine after the Empire invaded my home, an ice cream container would maybe be the first thing I grab too, or a maker. Yeah. So, yes, Wilbur, 2 seconds of screen time. In the background there. Like, it's not hugely important on any way, shape, or level, and yet still we have fully detailed backstories for how he's a rebel spy, rebel spy. Basically, their plans for the Death Star. Death Star Mark II in this thing. And that's what it's all about. That's why he's making that getaway. Because he has to protect the plans for the Death Star 2, because very soon our heroes are going to have to try and fight it in episode, 6. You know, the 3rd movie. And that's what he was really doing. It wasn't just a tubby old dude in poor-fitting clothes who valued ice cream as a way of bringing meaning to his life. Which is a little less sad, you know, a little more sad than what we did get on screen. I do like the idea of just leaving those threads open for the audience to fill in the blanks and figure out what they really thought. Alrighty, so I was going to see if I can adjust this actually. Playing with setups. Yeah. That might work a little better. A Yoda series. I can imagine that being talked about, but it'd be tricky. Most of it have to be animated. We are theoretically getting the Ben Kenobi series coming very soon. Brian blessed bedtime stories. Somehow, that man's voice and bedtime stories are not two things I would automatically connect together. Oh, one more nose blow. I'm missing bits, aren't I? I'm going to guess that I'm going to be in the same position I was before. I should be paying more attention to what I'm doing in front of me. As if. That's what ADHD is for, right? What's the point of having ADHD if it doesn't force you to not pay attention to what you're doing with your hands? ADHD life things. Anyway, yeah. Nah, this week, I don't know if I've got time in my life or Brian Blessed podcast, because this week I discovered Miles Morales on PlayStation. I've been hanging for that one. The Spider-Man game from a couple of years ago was one of my favourite games in a very long time. And so, having the successor, Miles Morales, to follow it up with, yeah, I was there, absolutely there. Been loving swinging around town, getting my Spider-Man on. What more can you really want out of life, you know? Alright, so I presume these will be our attachment points for the arms, which is a bit of an interesting choice for the shape. I guess it will give it enough clutch to hold it and stop the arms drooping. But I'm wondering how much movement we will have through the arms, because definitely the ability to move his arms is one of the changes I want to make. Not too much, mind you. There does need to be a balance. Because too much movement and guts will start to form depending upon how you pose him. Alrighty. Coming together. We almost have the next side ready. Did I put you on backwards? I totally did. Ooh, alrighty. So having sorted out headsets and sound, I think my next big challenge will be a better camera setup. think there's a better way to get this table kind of in shot, in view. And yeah, gotta figure that out. That's my challenge for the week, I guess. It's good to have goals. That's my next thing on the bucket list. Figure out a studio setup that works. Not just any studio setup, the best studio setup. One that people will consider bigly and stuff. The bigliest of studio setups. Wind's picking up outside. I can feel it. It's like the house is starting to shake just a little bit. My next live stream may come to you direct from Kansas. Who knows? Not I. Alright, so I feel like there's a little bit missing on this one. I'm wondering where it should have been. Just going to assume there maybe. Makes for an odd wrinkle. Yeah, I'm just going to go with it. That looks good to me. Or good enough. Sometimes good enough is. Which side do you go on? You'll go on that side, won't you? There we go. And that's starting to look like a flower vase or something. It's pretty solid though. It is worth saying. I'm tempted to drop it. Let's. Yeah. I don't want to drop it, so I'll break it too much. But anyway. Seeing how much pressure and damage you can take, that's important. I think the child's actually about the right size. I'm concerned his ears are not. Like, this would probably be... Well, actually, I have. His dimensions here. His age is 50. His height is 0.337 meters. So, yeah, that's about right. Maybe a little undersized. He probably should be just a teeny tiny bit bigger. The idea, the cuteness. I mean, part of me totally wants to dress up my 8-year-old as the Mandalorian and then put the child in his arms. Like, I just don't play dress-ups enough. I think that's something missing from my life, you know? I could definitely be doing more dress-ups in my life. That's the thing. And here we have 1x2 in dark tan, where we didn't earlier. So, curious about that too. And yeah, the wind outside, man, it is kicking up a blast. House be a rockin'. It's okay, you can come a knockin'. Alright. Bringing this closer to fruition. Not a lot left with this one. It seems like a little bit of a simpler side. Maybe they knew people would just be getting bored with the build by now. I feel like there's a lot of larger parts in this section to basically assist with that idea. You know, you don't want your purchasers getting bored as they build. And there are a lot of people out there who do buy Lego sets for the pure purpose of building them. As if those are jigsaw puzzles. And to them I say, throw the instructions away, give it a shot, see how you go. Treat it like a proper jigsaw puzzle. Honestly, that's one of the reasons I mock. It's also quite often my approach to Lego building when I build by myself. I don't like instruction manuals. And the big reason, apart from my rebellious streak, a big part of that is I have to spend a lot of the time turning pages. So one of the things I do like to do with building my sets for me is throw the instructions away, look at the box art. Can I, using just the box art alone, recreate those shapes and basically make the set? And, 9 out of 10 times, it is indeed possible. Sorry. Especially on smaller sets. Smaller sets make it quite easy. I don't know how much I can do about the mail. Sorry, Dan Brower. It's coming through a little quietly, is it? I can talk up, I guess. Or is it just a bit tinny? It's a new mic. I'm exploring, and I have no idea what Billsy is up to tonight. He's not a person I have thought about in quite a long time. Oh, better double check I'm doing this little section right. I think I just missed a bit. I think we've covered. I'm not really too concerned about it being perfectly spot on. Because I'm going to... staticky, okay. Yeah, it's not a very expensive mic. It might have to do with the Bluetooth connection. I believe that is a thing for how OBS plays with Bluetooth devices. I'll do my best not to trash talk him then. I doubt he would extend me the same honour, but trash talking people is not the kind of person I want to be, so I won't do that. And yes, thank you. I'm glad we were an inspiration to you on the show. I should acknowledge that. It was an odd time in my life. I'm kind of glad I did it, but at the same time, man, it was educational. I'll say it that way. I learned a lot about myself and other people. Very educational time in my life. Shouldn't invest in Legos. Legos to play with, man. Pull them out and make stuff with them. Whatever that stuff happens to be. Whatever takes your fancy. Go crazy with it. Get jiggy with it. Have fun with it. That's what it's there for. And okay. Tweaking sound settings. More things on my to-do list for the week, I guess. No, it's reality TV. We don't go back in subsequent seasons. Not until they do the best of season. And if that happens, I'm absolutely insisting on a different partner. Matt was pretty cool. I don't know how into it Lynn was, but if Matt wanted to go back, I'd be like, or Geordie. But Geordie and they work together as a team quite well. They're awesome. And Miller. Totally blanked on his name. I'm sorry, Miller. I should not have done that. I blame it on the hay fever, but no, it's probably just me. Me being a dummy. Because it's a day and why? And that's a thing that happens. Me being a dummy, that is. Whatever takes you... It's interesting that you say, Dan, what should I build? that is oddly one of those questions I get asked a lot. And I can't say I fully understand it. Hang on, give me a moment. I just need to blow my nose again. Hay fever, it's killing me. I'm sorry. So what should I build? It's a question I do get asked a lot. And I think it's very important to build something that you enjoy. And, like, that's not a throwaway answer. That's not dodging the question. What I mean by that is, what are you into? What are you passionate about, man? Because everybody is passionate about something. Whatever it happens to be. It could be football. It could be racing cars. It could be chocolate. Whatever it is that you are passionate about, build that. Pure and simple. Doesn't take anything more than that. That's the secret to it, because by making sure that it is something you enjoy, it's something that you will want to build and want to keep building. And once you've built your first whatever it is, you'll want to adjust and make more and change stuff up. And again, I've got spare parts over there. Some of them I should be spare, some of them probably not. But like I said at the beginning, I do want to do stuff to change up his shape before I'm done. And so I'm not too concerned at the moment. And yeah, there's the main core for our little Baby Yoda. I guess the arms will be locked in place, given the positioning of the Technic 2x2 modified bits. I don't know what the proper name is. Yeah. Room for movement of the head, though, which is important. I like the idea of his head being able to move. I'm not sure if I really like the curves of how that cowl goes around his neck, though, and that's absolutely high on my list of things I want to change there. And not too tricky either. I think that idea of the robe wrapped around him, I can capture that feel a bit better. But yeah, I guess to talk a little bit more about that idea of ideation, because one of the things that LEGO Masters did give me is perspective on my particular set of talents. And I've got to say, I'm trying to find a polite way to say this, but Billsy is one of the least imaginative people I have ever met. Like, could not come up with an idea to save himself. Like, I probably shouldn't ruin too much of the magic of TV, but it's pretty safe to say that across the course of the seasons, you don't see a camera in shot, but you do see a lot of reverse shot, which probably gives you an idea of how often certain bits need to kind of be redone in a way to kind of get the right angle for the camera. And this includes us being presented with the challenge, and then having a little bit of a chance to think before we are actually at our desks building said challenge. Now, the producers do ask you to be quiet and not talk about this stuff, and I don't know how much of this I should share or not, but this is the process and how it happened, at least for us, behind the scenes. And so they're shifting cameras, they're adjusting the set, and telling us all to be quiet, no talking till we get the sets. But you think during that time, right? Like, how do you not think during that time? Or at least that's what I think. And so, yeah, you hit the table. What's your idea for it? Radio silence, blank. So, and I'm not trying to say that to be critical or anything. I'm saying that because a lot of people do struggle with ideas, and yeah, I don't understand it. I do not understand it at all personally, because it's not something I've ever had trouble with. So there are tricks and shortcuts you can use for to questions, basically. Set questions you can ask for how to come up with ideas. And amongst different methods, I would suggest who, what, where, why, and how. Those are the only questions you can ever ask. So come up with a list for the who's. You know, maybe it's space aliens, maybe it's hot dog salesmen. I don't know. Maybe it's your favourite football team again. I'm probably going to keep coming back to the idea of using your favourite sports, because quite often the kind of people who ask these questions are, yeah, absolutely, into sports. It's okay. Who's your favourite sports star? Could you build them? doing something, because you move down the list. Okay, where are they today? Are they at the hot dog stand? Are they on the moon? Are they on the edge of a volcano, sailing on a pirate ship? Where are they? Move down the list a little further. When are they? Like, is it contemporary? Is it somewhere in the far-flung future? So this pirate ship happens to have steampunk engines. But this is getting a little ahead of myself on the idea. And yeah, because basically once you've answered each of those individual questions, who, what, where, why, and how do you, like, mix and match? Choose the oddest pairings from each list to get your ideas of what you're going to do, which I wouldn't consider to be revolutionary or unique or too difficult. But like I said, one of the things LEGO Masters gave me is perspective. Not everybody is good at coming up with ideas. Some of them people just cannot. So yeah, that's for you, Dan. That's a way to kind of come up with ideas. Chicken wing restaurant. See? Bam! Great idea. So what's it look like, you know? When's it set? What makes a chicken wing restaurant a chicken wing restaurant? What do you want people to respond with when they look at it, you know? Because, like, do you want them to go, ooh, or wow, or, you know, or ah, or, I don't know. I could do a whole different range of kind of emoji faces to kind of give the range, but what kind of impact do you want to have? Do you want them to make because when you build something and create something and then just plonk it on a table to present at an exhibition or whatever, you're not around to talk about it or justify it or say what's going on. It has to speak for itself. So in a lot of ways, what you're doing is you're creating a moment in time. And what's happening in that moment in time is an important question to answer. And again, really simple ways to approach it. Little stories that are happening to the minifigures on the street. So, you know, you do a crowded town build. You could do one overarching huge narrative, which is a lot of what you saw us do in the show, especially as the show progressed. Or do you just make a lot of little small things so that when you get in there, people will start looking and then looking a little deeper and looking a little deeper so that they can really enjoy the depths of details that you've got into it. And yeah, absolutely. Honestly, if I was building a chicken head or chicken-themed restaurant, I'd want it to, from a distance, be instantly recognizable as a chicken restaurant. So I probably honestly would go for a large chicken, you know? Like you've probably seen my food stand diners. That takes that idea of, and again, this is what I mean about, you know, I'm on the spot here. You've asked me how I'd approach it, essentially, or in a way. I better double check that. I think I've skipped steps, because when would I ever do that? Yeah, every day. But having like the food stand diners very directly grew out of that idea of it can operate on both the life-size level and be instantly recognizable from a distance. And when you get in there, it also operates and works in a minifigure scale city. And that's as simple as the idea was. I just wanted to build some life-size food and do something fun with it. And all of a sudden the world kind of responded to it and really enjoyed it. And yeah, all grew from there. I think that's right now. I hope that's right. We'll find out these things together. And I've probably gone off on tangent there, off track somewhere, because, you know, that's the kind of thing I quite often do. But hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea. Because, yeah, to finish off there, like, once you have people getting in, like, what are the little things that happen in this minifigure city? You know, there's a cop chasing a robber. There's the chef in the kitchen cooking. There's the chicken trying to make an escape. Look, I'm going to do my best to maintain the magic of TV. Now, Geordie made a deliberate choice on the show. I don't think, in fact, not once did he walk to the brick pit. That was a very deliberate choice on him. Now, at the same time, Geordie's not a small dude. He's a big dude. He's a little taller than me, and he's a bit heavy set. And that's not a criticism at all. What I'm trying to say there is he's not the kind of guy who is built for running. He's not an Usain Bolt. He's not long and lanky. No, not at all. But following Lego Masters, he got into running because the sport of choice for Brickman is jogging, but not short distance jogging. Brickman likes to do marathons and the like. That's what we've got. I guess that's going to go on that side in a moment. So Geordie took up jogging essentially as following, and entered a marathon. I don't know what his time was. I'm assuming pretty good, you know. Geordie's a lovely little goofball. He's an awesome dude. Geordie's pretty cool. Absolutely. So, and he's the kind of person who gives 110% into everything he does, and I can absolutely respect those kind of people, you know, my kind of people. I love it. It's what people should do, right? Should. Being a bit of an operative word there, I guess. Alright, we get our first hand for Baby something. We still haven't come up with a good name. I'm just going to call him Nick. Brickman autograph. I don't know. Probably. Maybe. Not from me. From him, I'm assuming. I'm assuming he does autographs. Okay. So there's a little bit of posability to the fingers on this set. In fact, I'm going to swap that around because I don't want the dimples of the bricks to be showing through too clearly. Alright. Now, there's only so much you can do on small scale for the posability. I do like the idea of the hands being open, but being able to hold the ball, which I believe comes in a later bag, or something else, it's kind of important. I think I'm going to give him slightly longer hands or fingers at some point, so I can get him to hold a frog. Alright, here we go. Flopping onto the side, there we go. I don't know if that's on shot. YouTube gives me a bit of a lag for these things. There we go. Yeah, there we go. I think the seams can be tidied up a little bit. He can be tidied up a little bit more pop and sizzle to some of the curves around the robes, which honestly I was always going to do, especially here. That feels too abrupt. I don't like the fact that you can very definitely make out where the seam stops and starts. I want the idea of that robe coming down and bending around. And I'm wondering if I might just redo the whole decor. The easy way to sort that might actually be to turn it 45 degrees and have that seam very deliberately be the front and the where the robe is open, and then have the arms off the sides. Could get a different shape that way. Would require breaking all of this down and starting from scratch. Well, not scratch. I mean, I'd keep the head. I'd keep the basics. But also at the same time, it allowed it to give it a little bit more maneuverability. Go bigger. Yeah, look, honestly, I like building small. Creating small worlds is really... I know after the show, everybody talks about Carl Scale because it worked. For purposes of being on screen, that idea of large builds that dominate a room, that works. that's the kind of thing that got you further into the competition. That's that and giving good TV, which we did. We gave some great TV. So, because at the end of the day, you do need to remember that it is indeed a reality TV, and it's for the purposes of entertainment. But yeah, it's square cubed law means that the moment you start making a larger build of any variety, it takes more parts and more time, very, very rapidly. Yes, I've been building other large things because I kind of do like to do large things, but all of them do work as much as I can on both levels. I think, and again, this comes from the experience of having done a lot of this for display and events, especially the ones you get paid for. For the ones you get paid for, it's important that from a distance they absolutely capture people's attention. But once somebody gets up and close and personal with it, they need to stay there. They need to be rewarded for getting close to whatever it is that you've built. When you build just for yourself, that's a slightly different story, because it is just for you. But certainly anything that is for purposes of commission or an audience, that's the kind of thing you want to... for me, my personal philosophy is making sure it operates on both of those levels. Who would I come back with? I don't know. Look, I don't know. Like, I guess my original partner would be out of the question, unfortunately. So, but I don't know. Because actually, I probably shouldn't say too much about what happened behind screens. I'll get myself in trouble if I open my mouth too much. Because, wouldn't want to get myself in trouble. But there were some, Matt was a really impressive builder. Lynn, she was there just for him. And nothing wrong with that. That's no criticism whatsoever. But by the same point in time, I don't think she has the same deeply abiding love of Lego that he does, or somebody like me does. She was there to support her grandson, first and foremost. So I don't know if she'd want to come back, whereas I reckon Matt would. And Matt's young. Like he's only really just starting out. And he is a really good builder. I want to praise Matt and his building. I've got something good to say about, 14 out of 16 of my fellow LEGO Masters contestants. And yeah, great kid who has the goods, and probably wouldn't return necessarily with his original partner because, Lynn's not young. It's those kind of days and those shoots, they're long days and exhausting, So, being realistic about it, maybe him. If that came to pass, I don't know. Or maybe just by myself. No, I need somebody to banter with. See, and this is a key point. I need somebody I could actually banter with, who's not going to shut me down every time I go off on a weird tangent about whatever. Because they're cool. I love my pop culture. They need to actually get pop culture. These are the important things that need to be there, in the partner. And there was a wide range of people on that set, I get it. Not everybody's a big pop culture nerd. That's... Where is my grey 2x2 modified with studs on side? It's still in its bag. There it is. Woo! Good thing I didn't throw that too far. I don't know. I do feel like I shouldn't probably say too much more about that peek behind the curtain. Got to save some mystery, right? Some mystery. And I loved Lynn. Lynn was awesome. She reminds me of my gran. It's funny, behind the scenes, I wanted to get me to badmouth her, and I was just like, no, I'm not doing that. bad enough you're setting me up. I'm a big boy, I can cope. But I'm not going to do it to anybody else. That's not who I want to be. That's not the kind of person I want to be. Yeah. Alrighty. So, our second arm here is taking shape. There's some more bits. Wind's dying down outside. I can feel it. I can smell it in the air. The air is all of a sudden smelling that little bit better. I don't feel the need to endlessly sneeze as much. Hay fever sucks. I think I've already said this multiple times today. I'm going to stop talking about it. I do think I need to get some t-shirts printed, though, that say, it's not COVID, it's hay fever, I'm not contagious. Because, yeah, it'd just ease my anxiety. I'd feel a little less judged every time I'm out in public and sneezing. And I know they're probably not judging me, but it feels like it. And I know it's only in my head, and that's okay, I guess. Oh, the dark green. See, and having had the previous Yoda minifigure, I think that's going to work out well when I do start making adjustments to our little figure here. Just small adjustments, not too much. Scooting off the table there. Australian research and space exploration. Do we have any of that? Nah, I kid, I jest. I know there is some. I don't know. We have a grand history of bright intellectual brains in this country, and then rapidly finding themselves overseas where the money is. That's just how the country works, right? Alright, second hand. That's going to pop on one of these directions. Be all of them, actually. That way? Yep. I'm just going to go with it. Feels intuitive. Honestly, I'm guessing. I've got more parts on the table than I'd like. Some of those probably belong there. Some of those don't. Not too fast. But here we have most of our little Jeffrey? I don't know. I still feel like we need to give him a better name. Whatever that name happens to be. George. I keep coming back to George, but that's really just the Bugs Bunny cartoons and my you speaking there. It's Christmas time. I don't know, maybe Baby Nick. I mean, mysterious people who have magical powers, sometimes come down your chimney, eat your frogs. Yeah, I feel like the metaphor is starting to break down. That's probably Nick is the wrong name there. We're just going to have to stick with Baby Yoda for now, unless he gets a name here in Season 2. What do you mean, Dan? What do you mean? Have I said something inappropriate? I probably have. I do apologize if I have. I mean, I come from the country where we invented Wi-Fi and quickly exported everything to do with that. We invented many amazing things here in this country. And so... Oh, thank you. I feel a little better. Yeah, I didn't think I'd said anything too inappropriate. Maybe a little too open. But I didn't think I'd said anything particularly disrespectful. Yeah. Oh. No. I think you're reading him wrong, man. I don't take it that way. Yeah, nah. All friends here. I wouldn't take it that way. It's I doubt it was meant that way. And look, I do feel the need to say, as an outsider, obviously, to the American system. I'm not American. I'm Australian, and we have I'm married to a teacher. Okay, so I've got a horse in this race, but I feel that it's pretty clear to the rest of the world that you guys need to lift the quality of your education system. You need to fund it, because that stuff follows through. You know, critical thinking skills. And okay, maybe it's because I'm married into a family of teachers. But, it's just on a global level, and I'm not calling out anybody personally, but I don't think we would have had what we've had with the last 2 decades, honestly, of American politics and what's happening with the current election if the and certainly with the response to the pandemic as well. And remember this, I'm coming from currently the only place in the world that has managed to go from 700 cases a day to none, in the space of 2 months. We have no COVID present in the country right now. We have had no new cases in 14 days, which is the incubation period. There are still a few cases from before, but they're all known, that there's no community transmission or any of that stuff, which is an amazing achievement, okay? Let's call it what it is. The people who have made that happen are heroes, one and all. But it all comes down to the fact that we listen to the science. And it's kind of heartbreaking to see things such as simple mask wearing turned into a political tool. Science doesn't care about your opinions. Your opinions are not equal to my facts. Facts are objective and easily provable, and that kind of objective truth exists. And it feels, and again, I'm not calling out anyone individually, but it does feel that the responsibility to give that to our population lies on the education system, lies on it being well funded, and that's not something that is there in the way it should be. Have I misplaced on that part? No, I've just completely buried it. And I don't know, I feel like here with my nose killing me, I'm probably not stringing my thoughts together as well as I should. But yeah, it's and that's probably where he was coming from, Dude, at the same time, Roxo, yes, we do have some great Australian research and space exploration. I mean, we've got some of the greatest minds in the world, and come from this country anyway. But the flip side of that is, again, in our city, Mikey, a public transport initiative, cost enough for us to put 2 Mars rovers on Mars. And instead, that money was spent going in the pockets of large corporations to basically, I don't know why, my gut wants to say, corruption. That's probably, a little knee-jerk. But I would like to be a country that actually had a functioning space program. I'd love for there to be just, hey, you're an Australian. We've got our own space program. We've got rocket ships and stuff. How cool would that be? That's the kind of thing I'd put in a T-shirt. Mikey, not the kind of thing I'd ever write home about. Not one of the country's greatest achievements. We need more amazing achievements like that. Oh, so many. I do. It'd be really cool as an Australian to say, hey, Look at our cool space shuttles going into space. Yeah. On the weekends, we're James Bond. I don't know. I'm ad-libbing a little there. But, it'd be cool. Man, okay. Staring at the right parts. I'm getting distracted. I'm probably simultaneously poorly articulating myself. But, you know, they ending a while. But anyway, looking at here, we've got the ball joint that will connect to his neck. And we've got what looks to be the beginning of the attachments for the ears. Now, the ears are absolutely one of the parts of Yoda, or Baby Yoda, I'm going to change up. They're just not big enough on the official model here. They do need to be wider than his head. See, I can safely and authoritatively talk about Lego because that I know about. I am not in any way, shape or form qualified to talk about pretty much any other subject, you know. It'd be like Pete Evans talking about vaccines. Yeah, I'm not qualified to do that. I am qualified to talk about Lego. It is something I'm you know, so I'm going to stick with that. So, here, bit looks like I'm not even quite sure what side or bit we're building for him right yet. This will be the beginning. The front of the face and the eyes. You need the recesses to create the eyes, of course. I'm missing a part, aren't I? I am missing a part. Yes, I am. There we go. I'm feeling a little better. I probably should have reversed that, because I bet the other side is identical. It's always a little easier to build them simultaneously when they are identical sections. Of course I did. Alrighty. Go. Setting up our side. Fixing that up again. I haven't lined that up properly. Oh, that's silly me. I put them on the wrong sides. Of course I did. Looking like it's going, hang on, they're not lining up right. Well, no, of course they're not. They're on the wrong sides. Alright. And yeah, sand green and 2x4s. I'm not sure we've had that part in that colour before. It's kind of cool to see there. And after this we have one bag left, so I guess the head comes in two parts. So this is mostly the structure here appearing right now. I'm making sure I've turned that up the right way so I'm not getting confused. Because, you know, that would be so easy to do. And yeah, it looks like we've got that little bit of gap there to create an open mouth, which is awesome. It's definitely one of the things I would have made sure. That made us a change if it hadn't been there. The ability to open the mouth, that is. Alright. And many of the new in sand green, which are, it's probably the first time we've seen that too. Oops, I missed a spot. You were meant to be, where are you? Sand green, there we go. I do know why they make a lot of these internal parts brightly coloured. It does make it easier as part of a build experience, but I think it's a little too bright when it's the red. That's one of those bits I probably would have swapped out if it had been up to me. It's not up to me, so it doesn't matter. Though, my Baby Yoda, it is, and I might come back and change that later. Your mileage might vary. I'm not going to tell you how to build your Baby Yoda. There is no right or wrong. It's yours. Enjoy it. And now I'm looking for a jumper plate. I cannot see my jumper plate. Where's my jumper plate? Come on. Ah, there it is. Upside down, upside down. Cool. Yeah, so many beautiful new parts that I don't think we've seen in sand green before. Because again, here, the corner part, that's a reasonably recent part. Sand green isn't a colour we've had a lot of in the past. We got the Statue of Liberty, gave us quite a lot of it. But yeah, it's not a colour you see in a lot of sets. There was meant to be another curve there. I cannot see my other curve. Where is my other curve? I'm definitely going to need my other curve. Ah, there it is. I'm smiling now. See? Simple little things like that. Doesn't take much to make me smile. I'm a very simple guy. Good food. Good company. I just put you on backwards. And yeah, now we're very definitely getting the shape of the front of his face. You can see that taking shape there. And I suspect we're going to see something clever to turn these around to give us the shape of the eyeballs. And that would have been one of the limiting factors for this as a set. Though we have recently seen the 3x3 dome appear in a few sets. So you could have had a recolor of that and black, but it does have a center stud. So to get those really big, doll-like glassy eyes and keep everything with the rest of the build to that kind of scale, I think this is probably the part that determined the scale of the rest of the build. A lot of builds do start in that way. I know, well, speaking as a creator myself, inside, designing sets for people, that you do get a little bit more leeway. Because, they can hack at parts in the labs and then get them made into official parts. That's absolutely a thing they can do. There we go. And a very simple use of, whoops, that should be a black one by one. So here we have the basic core, and I don't know how well this shows up on camera, but they've used the quarter rounds over our 2x2 round with a smooth underbottom. And here we have a very standard part now, comes in a lot of sets now, the 2x2 round with the hole in the middle to give us the shape of the eye. And that just goes in there like that. And we have one eye, and we'll have the second one in just a moment. Alright. And yeah, we're getting some really nice shaping to the face. I'm quite impressed with how this is coming together. And again, other simple little details, because certainly once you scale up a little bit, it comes with its benefits and its downsides. But certainly that cute little button nose that Baby Yoda has. And I do wish we had a better name for him, but we don't. So that shaping to it, it's yeah, really captures the essence of the face. Because certainly, and I bought the first Yoda 12 months ago. totally expecting to do my own personal mod to make him the child, like so many other people have. Like, you can easily find existing modifications for the first Yoda set to change him into the child. And, well, I've got a studio full of 101 half-begun products, because, again, that's how ADHD works. And so I just never got around to it. And, of course, now they've released the official set. And I think I will kind of kludge the two together to get a little bit more going on. And that eye probably isn't in right. Let's twist you. Yeah, there we go. I quite like how that captures that. Because, yes, that was certainly... And worth noting, and this probably is not picked up by the camera, because it is very tricky to notice here, but there is printing here on these 2x2 turned upside down tiles. There's a very thin edge of very dark brown. The effect means we get a different texture as opposed to a very obvious print, but absolutely changes the way the light reflects off it as it turns. I like that. That is nice. And just by pure coincidence, it means I did actually put them in on the right side. Would have been very easy not to with that happening. Probably something to be aware of if you're building your own Baby Yoda. What are we going to name him? We need, like... So, 2 kids. I've got 2 kids, right? I think, like many parents, and your mileage might vary, but there's also 10 years between them. Me and my partner, both times, different partners, had very strong opinions upon what the name should and shouldn't be. Like, Kale isn't my birth name. I hated my birth name. There's a weird set of circumstances that kind of led to Kale being the name. You know, it's just basically a nickname I kind of got given, and then it caught on. And I was like, yeah, well, nobody has asked me to spell that, ever, if I introduce myself to that. So I'm just going to go along with that. Made my life a lot easier. Going through life having to tell people how to spell your name, I hated that. Hated it with a passion. And that's why. Feels a little funny because it is. You should not have been angry eyes. You should have been a ridge. Or happy eyes. Well, I guess it was more happy eyes, but here we go. And yeah, give me a kid a good name. Like so many baby books. You know, both times. So many baby books. We made short lists. Other partner had power of veto. You know, we're like, oh yeah, I like some of those names, but I don't like those ones. And bit by bit, you narrow in on a really, and I like that. How his mouth opens up there. That's quite cute. I might replace the the hinge inside with straight black. I think it needs a little bit more lip to hide the join there, but that's not exactly an angle you'll ever see it from. So, that wouldn't be too hard to do though. Step that a little bit backwards and then, things to think about. Oops, I put that in wrong, didn't I? Yeah, meant to go there. So yeah, coming full circle around to it. Baby Billy. No, that's a forbidden word in this house. We do. As I said, I don't think about him. He's not a concern. We weren't friends going in. We were a bespoke couple, I guess you could call it. And certainly my life is a little bit better for not thinking about him. So yeah, no, that's not going to be the name. I fully do suspect that Season 2 of The Mandalorian will give us an official answer to the name. I mean, our dear Mando, it is a bit weird that he's also just known by the name Mando, but he needs a better name than that. Yoda needs a better name than that. He's not being a very good parent in not giving little baby Yoda a proper name. Yeah, he should have a better name. Now, making the shaping of the ear. That's what I mean. In fact, I'll show you what I mean and about the size and scale of the ear in a moment. But Baby Yoda has quite large ears. That's part of his charm. That's part of the beauty to them. And these are simply not large ears. So that's high on my list of things I'm going to change. Top. Absolute top. Tippy top of the list of things I will change. And yeah, box art doesn't show it from the rear. I think I might be about to find another reason to change it, because it looks like some of that tan will show through from the back. I do not like that idea at all. No, I do not. I'm getting a little hungry. We are almost at the end of the build. I know it just hit 6 o'clock. I'm thinking about dinner here. I don't know about you. What are you having for dinner for tonight? Yeah, it's, I did say at the beginning we probably shouldn't do any Mando spoilers for Season 2. I figure Season 1 is fair game at this point because we are, of course, building the child, but Season 2 spoilers is probably not a good idea, but keeping it global, yeah, I'm with you. It's, we need, and I'm just making sure that I've gotten this all together properly. A bit more story focus. Yeah, I haven't lined up something right. Something's off somewhere there. That's why. I'm going to need that in a moment. I better break that apart, get that part back. That wasn't meant to be the stud on side and facing backwards. It was meant to be that. And yeah, a few more story-focused episodes. It's definitely time for that. But it's, I mean, Filoni is the guy who brought us Rebels and Clone Wars and broken too much. Give me just a moment. So, partners sticking your head in saying, hey, you've been building for a while. I'm like, I know. So, enjoy building. There we go. Fixed. It's probably because I'm the one responsible for dinner, though. Because I've been doing a lot of cooking. That's the thing I've kind of rediscovered here in lockdown life. And yeah, that's what I mean. Talking about the ears. Now that that's fixed, you can see way too much tan from the rear of the ear there. So that is going to be the big thing I change on this set. And not a very hard change. It'll be a pretty easy fix. If I do remember or get it done in any kind of timely fashion, and I make no promises for being timely at all, I will post the changes I make. The instructions. I'll drop the instructions for it somewhere. Probably not safe to promise that, though. Because I don't know what kind of timeline this will happen on. It is nice to see more of these in tan. As somebody who quite often makes scale, life-size heads of various varieties, they come in very useful for doing that. Outside of Lego hobbies? Oh yeah, it is going to be a low carb, high protein meal. I am so happy to be back in the gym, and yeah, it's nice to be kind of getting back in shape. Like, I hate the gym. I like how it makes you feel afterwards. Am I missing parts? Again, I should have some more 2x2 sand greens, and I'm not seeing them right now. I'll say 1x2 sand greens. But I do have too many of these, I think, maybe. Might be about to find out. I'll check in a moment. Do the easy way, yeah, see? Now I think what I'm going to do is... Yeah, I'm definitely dropped something there, haven't I, somewhere? Dropped a stitch, as they would say if my hobby was sewing, but it's not. It's photography. That's my other big hobby outside of Lego. And look, honestly, they come together quite often. I do also like cooking. I'm not very good at it. I won't pretend for a second to be any good at cooking, in fact. But that is one of those things I've been doing while we've been in ISO, in lockdown, returning to the kitchen and just kind of figuring out ways to recreate restaurant-level quality meals at home. And quite enjoying that. So, yeah, definitely missing a bit somewhere, and I think, well, as I said, I'm shaking that up afterwards anyway. Let's put the ears on his head. I love the little ball joints. You do get a little bit of movement here. Ball joints are great for stuff like that. I'm thinking maybe a larger style ball joint might be the go once it's embedded in the head. The trick is there will always be seams, and so that's the balancing act there. But the ability to twist the ears a little forward and back would be nice as well. So I might put that into my final build too. Anyway, last bag. Bag 8, last bag. I'm not going to do the base panel thing that goes in front. Like, forget that. So, we'll just put those parts off to the side. Here's what the instructions says it should look like, though, So basically a place to put our mini Baby Yoda, which is this little guy, worth it for the price of entry to this set alone. Like I love this little guy. I said it before, I'll say it again. I probably will just sneak out, get a second one of these sets, just so I've got a second one of those. Those little guys. Oh no, this is for the back of his head. I do need those parts. And you know what? I'm going to reverse build this because that's going to be needed in a second, isn't it? Make my life a little easier as I go through the build process. Pretty simple bag, this one. yeah, things I've discovered in lockdown. Like, I was always a little scared of slow cookers. I'm actually kind of a reasonable baker. It comes from Sunday afternoons baking with Grandma. You know, that was a big part of my childhood. But it's, as an adult, you know, getting back into the kitchen, passing that down to my own kids, it's not exactly something I've done as much as maybe I feel I should. Because being able to cook, it's an important life skill. Let's call it what it is. A very important life skill. And here we go. Just making sure this clips into the back of the head. Why there's a little bit of give there. I'm a little curious what we're about to do with that. We're about to find out, obviously. But, yeah, beginning that little head here. Like, my little ones have been quite resistant to the idea of getting into the kitchen and cooking, and I'm really trying to get them to do so. You know, like shortbread. Shortbread is one of the easiest things in the world to make. You just duck into the kitchen, mix it all together, gets on your hands as you work, lick it off. It's delicious and tasty. I mean, with sugar and butter and flour and little else, right? And yeah, little guy, he's like, no, I don't want to. He wants to eat the shortbread, mind you, but he doesn't want to make the shortbread. And slow cookers. I discovered my love of slow cookers because I like a high-protein meal. I love my meats, you know. And that's a nice way to do it, you know, flavorful kind of meats that please the whole family. Turn them into tacos, you know, slow pulled pork for pulled pork burgers. Like some of my favorite restaurants do some really delicious pulled pork, so trying to learn how to do that at home and recreate that taste. I've had some success, mixed success, mind you, but, you know, I'm getting closer. The trick isn't necessarily in the pork itself. It's in the buns and the brioche buns and what you combine it with, which is next to impossible, like to find decent brioche buns. I suspect the only solution there is to either be a catering place and order them in, or make them at your home yourself, and I'm just not quite, I'm not set up to bake brioche buns, and yeah, it's a bit intimidating. I'll give it a shot. I've always been the kind to step up to a challenge, so you know, the fact it is a little intimidating is the kind of thing that makes me think, hey, maybe I could give that a try. But, you know, I'll figure that out in time. It would be really nice if I had a local bakery that just had really decent, high-quality brioche buns, though. It is definitely something that is missing from my life. Alright, so this is probably the back of his head here. I don't want to preempt it and say it definitely is or it isn't. Could be the top, who knows? But it's very simple, very symmetrical here. Again, Baby Yoda as opposed to adult Yoda. One of those things that makes the people or anything you build cute and small and fluffy and adorable and want to give them a hug. You know, symmetry. Symmetry, big eyes. These are the kind of things, like big ears are usually reserved for older people. So maybe that's part of the reason for sizing down the ears here. But alright, so turn this this way, yep. Put all of this together first. Easy peasy, make sure it's all up the right way. Yep, looking good. Slides on in. Here we go. Back of the head. Front of the head. That's really coming together. I'm loving it. Oh, see, how cute and adorable is that? Definitely making those ears bigger. and taking away the tan. I do not like the fact that the tan shines through here. Like, I know, it's a small gripe. It's my gripe. It's my Baby Yoda. I'm going to change it. Totally. First chance I get. It's gone. Flipping it. Not the table. Metaphorically flipping the table. I don't know. Am I leaning into the crazy a little too much? You tell me where the line is. Anyway. Coming up on the end of the build. Don't quite know who's here and who's not. Feel free to say stuff in the chat. I feel like I'm just, rabbling on to myself and stream of consciousnessing when it's just me and my voice. That's not necessarily a good thing, Like, some thoughts just are not meant to be shared, and I share probably way too many of them. Yeah. I don't exactly feel guilty, but probably should. I haven't extended that long enough. That's not as long as it's meant to be. There, that's better. Interesting that they've used that method for that. Why that needs to clip and move, I'm not quite sure. I could have given it a more rigid... I mean, it works as a structure. It is actually quite a decent structure there, but... Ooh, I have forgotten a few parts, though, haven't I? Before I do that... There are additional parts that go in here on his head. So this will dictate how far his ears can move in that direction. That goes on there. Looking fine. Yeah, definitely looking fine there, Baby Yoda. Why is that? Because there's nothing to support from underneath, of course. Which will be a problem. I bet okay. Yep, there we go. Coming together a little tighter, a little better. Alrighty. Home stretch for our build here. Next week we'll be building Sesame Street. That's going to be a bit more of a freeform build. We'll take the basics of the set, but we're going to very quickly step away from the specifics of the step on that one, I think. Well, I know. Again, just coming from the direction of, it's my set. I want to be able to display it in my home. I'm not a kid. I'm an AFOL. So I want something that belongs in an AFOL's home, on an AFOL's shelf. So that means that I want it to, and personally, I'm going to choose to make it fit for the modular row. Keep that essential Sesame Street feel, but flip stuff around. And there's no criticism on the set. It's a nice set. Apples and oranges at some point in time. At some point, this stuff comes down to personal taste. I want to make changes to it. I suspect many other AFOLs feel the same, so let's make those changes to it. It's absolutely something we can do. And yeah, just do a few little changes along the way, walk people through a few tips and tricks on how they can do similar. Oh, loving that Baby Yoda face. How gorgeous is that? Looking fine. I suspect I've got more spare parts than I should. Like, these should have gone somewhere. These should have closed up those gaps, shouldn't they? I've accidentally missed a step or two. I'm going to go back and find those. Yep. Kind of intuitive looking at the parts. It is exactly what I expected. This is what I should have done. With the rest belonging to the little stand that goes in front. And that just should have been there all along. Just the reason it clips in. Come on. Falling out. Ooh, that's going to be fun to get back in now that the ears are there. It's okay. We can do it. We have the technology. We have the power. Yeah. That'll be the way to do it. Ha. Better. Yeah. Oh, I can feel stuff breaking my hand. And there we have it. Baby Yoda. Not putting... Getting him to click in here is going to be fun. There's a little bit of give to the neck, which is needed for the posability factor. You can have him looking up, looking down. There's a bit of twist and rotate there. That's quite nice. We do get his little ball bit to hold in his hand. Why they've used a blue stud there to connect it all up together, I do not know. Let's put that in his hand. He's got his magic ball now. I'm going to probably replace that with a frog egg or a frog. I don't know. There we have it. Baby Yoda. What do you reckon? $6 million Baby Yoda? Yeah. We have the technology. We will rebuild him. That's where I'm going to go with it. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Hey, this is... If I was to return to Lego Masters, I'd need somebody who gets my geeky references, you know? Instead of somebody who just gives me a blank look every single time. Yeah, I'm not going down that route. Don't want to be that guy. Yeah, Baby Yoda. Love him. Next week, it'll be Sesame Street. Got plans for that one. That's going to be a little bit more off plan. It'll be a little bit more freeform. I'm not sure. Like, the set of Sesame Street has evolved over the years. There's very definitely different forms to it, but the basics remain the same. And so take a few little liberties there. I'll make sure it's adapted to the A-fold modular row. That's the plan for it. But still have that idea of the little corner shape that they have with it. I think that will really mean just stepping back the main building and then having that open square that a lot of the events happen in before you move to Hooper's store. But that's for next week. Mostly because we're still talking about Muppets and Puppets. Gorgeous little Muppets and Puppets. And that's not even showing in screen properly. I'm sorry. I did just realise it wasn't even showing the screen properly. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? It's that lag. That lag between YouTube and what I'm doing. There's a bit of lag there. Anyway, yes, Baby Yoda. Oh, he's a good boy. Yeah. Like I said, a little bit of posability there. His mouth opens, his ears can droop. There's a little bit of a gremlin look to him if you really wanted to mod him up to look like Gizmo or a gremlin. I think I'll keep him as Baby Yoda. But the basics there to colour flip and mod him into Gizmo is absolutely there for those who are big Gremlins fans. Wouldn't have to extend or change too much to really get to that shape. So, yeah, Baby Yoda. There we have it. Not quite sure what else to say, except thank you for joining me. Stay awesome, guys, and I will see you all next week. Same time, bat time, same bat place. Cheers, guys. Stay awesome.